Tramp, tramp, tramp på en smurf.
Sponsor så.
Pretend that you are very environmental friendly. I stedet for fulgte hun sitt hjerte. Et hjerte som førte dem til steder ingen visste hvor var, og omsider inn i en sky av mørke.
Vinner er nummer 1!
Jeg vet ikke hvilken smurf det er. Jo, det er gammel smurf.
This is one is for females, yeah?
Female.
I always have problems finding something without sex. Say something funny or serious or something, and you'll all be on YouTube. You'll all be famous, right? It's not my fault. It sounds fashion. My name is Svare Ghei, and I'm a hobby author, and I'm here to present the 4th book in a series of 4. It's also the final book. The first book was Sonata Ghei, Norwegian title. And it was the introduction to a universe that is similar to ours, but not always like ours. So it's slightly different. It's a small book, only 136 pages and large fonts. But still, those people that have read it knows that there's a lot of stuff going on those pages. So it's not by no means small in that way. Second book is Mørke Håpet, also a Norwegian title. And this one is the thematic title of what all the 4 books are about. It's about you know, sometimes life can be kind of shitty, difficult, and about having hope in such situations. And this is thematic, that book. Third book was Regnbuepittene. And this book was meant to be the ending of this series, but I couldn't end it when I was writing this book, so I had to write another one, which is the one we have now. So this book is about meeting yourself, biting your own tail. But I actually said something else on the back. I said it's about how you, in your attempt to escape from reality, play Russian roulette with winning or losing yourself. And tonight we're celebrating final book Idyll. Now, Idyll is about something as small as a murder. Right? It's nothing like all the others where you have all these thematic titles. This is about a murder, or presumably about a murder. Basically, I've taken some of the people from the other books and I've put them in a semi-remote island on the coast of Norway, and they are stuck there for a week. And they have murders happening, and they don't know who the murderer is. But while that's happening, all these other characters that you met in the other books are playing out their own lives as well.
Han har beordret at alle smurfer skal trykkes ned her.
One of the other things that they've started, which is a bit slowly, but it's the Jaseliunaite.com ninjas. It's kind of a, I think of it as a fan club. It's called Street Teams, but I think of it as a fan club plus, which people can join if they want to support the books, support the PR, and so on. It doesn't mean you have to be a ninja to do it, but if you want to do something special, you do. Write reviews online, go to libraries and ask for the books and so on. And you get some extra free, like you get the second book also free as ebook. And you get, first-hand information from and in fact, there's several ninjas in this room tonight. You just can't see them. For people that didn't get anything, you can go online and there is a store where you can actually buy more of these things. You can all have them.
And it's very cheap, isn't it?
It's the commercial piece of it. Buy, buy, buy. Because we also have today an exhibition here, a mini exhibition from Sonata, that you can see on the walls here. The girl that made the front page on her last book, and even in the back you can see the 4 picture series, which is the same as the front page of the book. There's a special occasion where you can buy these pictures and even pictures from the front page. Special collection. If you want to buy them, you just speak with Sonata here before the end of the formal part, because then they're going to tear it down again.
Alla bilderna är tillsatt.
Vad är priset? Står det någonstans?
Nej, pris är det efter ornament. Det är väldigt bra. Så det kan få avslag eller tillfälligt.
Old-fashioned haggle to get the prices for the pictures, yeah? But take time and watch, have a look at each of them and see and buy them, of course. Not every day you'll have the chance to get these pictures. These are the Smurfs you are looking for. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Det blir bra det da.
Altså, dette er kontonummeren hvor du gir alle pengene du ikke trenger selv. Will not be shown in public many times. I don't know if it's the first time it's shown in public, but it could be. Either the first time or one of the very few times it's shown in public. Not because of strong scenes.
Vi lagt ut på Pirate Bay dette her.
What?
Vi lagt ut på Pirate Bay dette her nå.
Yeah. The last thing that I got into this book that I'm very, very happy about, this is the first book when I have illustrations in it. That's really, really cool. Done by Lina over there. By advice from Elisabeth Slettnes, the artist, I made a Facebook group that I've been posting at least once a week for the last year, and it has been quite successful. However, the changes in Facebook lately with the suppressing of posts means that it's not as successful anymore the last months, but it has been really good. I also joined Twitter, even though I don't understand the reason for Twitter actually. It's something that we old-timers did in the 80s. We did Twitter in the 80s. I did a Norwegian translation for a game last year called Lily Looking Through. It's not a lot of text in it because it's a point-and-click adventure game with a little bit of another world in it, but it was quite fun. And I still have a few codes for free if someone wants to have the game for free, otherwise you can't buy it. And I did something that was really cool last year, is I wrote my first story in English. In the contest as getting official stories for the game Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous is the 4th game in a series of games that started back in the Commodore 64 era. And I love to talk about Commodore 64. But I will admit that I didn't jump on the game that early. It was the second version called Frontier on Amiga 500, and I was alive for Amiga 500. That I played, and then in that game, Frontier, they had the whole known universe at that time. There were more planets in that game than there were bits on that floppy drive that hosted the game. It was totally impressive to do that. So now it's the 4th iteration of the game which is coming up, and I got selected with my story to be part of the official prosa fiction for that game. And for a computer computer-nerd, that's really cool.
Og etterpå?
Det blir to forskjellige virkeligheter.
Ja, hva som kunne ha skjedd.
Først og sist i køen,
Ja, men nei, det er ikke bare én. Du har mange paralleller. Altså, men tenk på alle kombinasjoner fra starten av. Så hvor mange, da er det ikke bare to, men jeg antar at det er
mange
ja,
uendelig.
ja, antageligvis.
Also, you know, showing up in other books, other people's film, games and stuff. Me or some of the people from my universe as well.
Jeg kjenner jo filmene, kullmannen, Andreas Følmann.
Jeg tror det er sånn kullmann.
Nei, Andreas har filmmannen.
So now, the last 3 years, because it's 3 years ago when we started with the first book, so we've done 4 books in 3 years. It's pretty good now. I think it's pretty cool, and I'm pretty happy because now I'm finished with this. So it is a lot of work. Right? One of the things that's a lot of writer has to do to get published is to write either something that's they either have to be famous and then it's easy to get published. They have to write crime or a housewife porn, like 50 Shades of Grey. So a lot of people write crime, and a lot of people read crime as well. So when you are in the forums where all the wannabe writers are, they talk a lot about how to get published, right? How they get published and how you get published writing crime, because that's the easiest way they think. Of course, then everybody writes crime, everybody writes the same, so it's not so easy because it's only the best of the best that actually can get published into that area. Now, not all writers want their stories to be crime, of course, not all that writes either. So what some writers do is they have their own story and they try to put it into the crime story. And it's quite common, right, that they do, so they kind of hide their own non-crime story into art of crime. So how hypocritical am I that I have now written a book about crime? But of course it's not to get published because I publish myself. But it's actually a very good trick, because this is the first time I have a book that is one story. All the other books are several stories that are separated, loosely associated with each other. This is the first time it's one story. And that works. So I've used this trick to make one story and a lot of small stories around it, and also to increase the thrill. So it's much more exciting, this book, all the way through. I think this book will be, when you start reading it, will be hard for you to put down. Without you, there wouldn't be any party. My best friend told me after last year, he asked me, Sean, how are you going to make next year's party better than this one? And this is what I've been thinking of mostly this past year, because it was never about the parties, it was always about the books, that each book should be better than the last book. But then somehow these parties become really, really special, because we managed to get such an atmosphere during these parties that it's really nice to have them. So why not? Let's try to make this the best party as yet. Yeah? You can buy them almost everywhere. On almost all the big retailers online, you can buy them. You can buy them with Amazon, you can buy them with iTunes, you can buy them with Bokhilden, and so on. So it's very, very easy to buy them. If you have 3G, you can buy them everywhere. If you want the paperbacks. You can also buy them wherever you have internet. You just click and it comes to your house. So it's so easy. You will not find them in a lot of bookstores, of course, because bookstores have very special rules about what books they have. So actually, it's easier to sell the books in all kinds of stores except bookstores. That's Norwegian rules, right? And I'm sure you can see that as well if you go around just in Lillehammer, you'll find books in all other stores as well. So, you know, Narvesen is a good example. You find them also in other shops, you find the books. So that's how good the rules were. Anyway, where you get the best price is lulu.com, because that's where I publish them. So that's where you get the cheapest prices and the best discounts you can get.
I'm here.
Tonight, of course. That's except tonight. Tonight you can get them for. If you go for ebooks, my first book is free as well, so you can get the first book for nothing. Anywhere where you have 3G. When I did the first book, Svare Ghei, I didn't really know what I was doing. It was published originally on with a very small publisher. And actually I didn't see the book until the book launch with the people that was there. And the quality of the book wasn't that good. But even before that I was really, really nervous. I've never been that nervous in my whole life. And Morten, he knows that, because I used to go to Morten and said, I'm really, really nervous now. And Morten said, take it easy, it'll be okay. I'm really, really nervous. And then of course the quality of the book that was launched wasn't that good, so afterwards Jan Håvard sent me an email. Said, very good book, but why is it so full of mistakes? And I had to be honest with Jan Håvard and said, it all got screwed up. So I decided together with Jan Håvard that we went for self-publishing instead. And we used 2 months to try to fix nesten som magi. Helga så undrende ned på bakken der nede. Merkelig nok, hun som aldri hadde rørt en flyplass eller fly i hele sitt liv, satt nå undrig sammenstuet i en Cessna 172, det mest produserte småflyet i verdens himmel. Sikkert snilt, men følte ikke et snev av angst. Det som overrasket henne mest var stabiliteten. Der det kruset av sted i 120 knop. Det føltes nærmest sikrere enn å sitte i bil. Hun så over verden som en av vokterne. Hun elsket det, smilte. Skal man dø i en Cessna 172, om man ville det selv.
Ikke bare drive og henge med her inne i børn.
Da tar vi en skål igjen. Idyllen skulle ikke vare evig. Vokterne som vokter vokterne faller alltid til slutt. Det var Helgas venninne, Juliana, som styrte flyet. Hun var mer enn en venninne, hun var et reis. En eventyrkvinne, ei hulder, som aldri ville temmes. Men mest viktige hovedgrunnen til at hun hadde lurt Elva med seg for flere tusen meters høyde, ei elskerinne. Det behaget Juliana å følge sine egne regler av uvær, blest, kulde og regn. De så ingenting, og selv om flyet var innredet med utstyr for blindflyving, hjalp det lite. Rutene frøs til, instrumentene gikk i villrede. Cessnaen, som bar det lite treffende navnet Spitfire, pumpet som tidene mest krevende spøkelsesfeil. Da må man betale ekstra. Helma hutret til Juliana spyttet og vilgersk, nektet å godta nederlag. Juliana, den spinkle kvinnen, ville vinne mot naturkreftene. Hun bannet og skrek, slåss mot flyet, slåss mot været, slåss mot Helmas frykt. Hun eide ikke nerver. Mennesket sterkere enn alt. Han slå alt, vinne. Etter en time måtte hun medtatt innrømme at hun ikke ante hvor hun var, hvor hun skulle komme i sikkerhet.
Her det mye snadder. Det lett å se hvem som en slammingen.
En enkel verden.
Ja, men det nøller da.
Kommer nok kanskje litt på feil.
me and Jan Håvard have been the quality assurance of these books ever since. And to be honest, we've been working our heads and eyes off to do it, because you correct and you correct and you correct, and in the end, we don't even know how to spell even common words. It's totally ridiculous, but you just get so choked that you don't know, you're scared to write the word because you don't know how to do it. Which is, brings me back to another thing, because I had this article in Via Visa in the beginning, where I was attacking the publishers, and my brother said to me, like, some things which can be summed up like big words for a small writer. And he was right. I mean, but I wasn't trying to attack the publishing that way. I just was trying to tell the truth about it, because it is a very small market to get through the publisher unless you go to the literature school in Norway, because then you have to be published. But of course, when you do a small time writing, you can't really have the quality assurance of the big publishers. It's not possible. If you write in English language, it's a bit easier because there is a lot of freelancers that does cheap work to help you. But in Norwegian, you're pretty much dedicated to the people that want to help you. But one question that's typical to ask people is, if you knew how much work it was, would you do it all over again? Because if you didn't do it, it wouldn't have happened. If you knew how difficult it is, you wouldn't have done it from the first place. So sometimes it's better not to know. But all the things you learn on the way to create a 4-book series like this is really, really something that you don't want to leave without. Idyll is the book which finally I think has the quality which I wish all the books had.
Kanskje rart den blir tyst.
I'm a part of a project that's gonna send up a satellite up to space sometime in January and release the satellite sometime in spring. And then we send some messages from the outer space, and I think that's really cool.
Okay.
And I'm also a part of the project where I'm gonna have my own little spaceship. Probably the first Norwegian author that does that. That will land on the moon. But that's probably in 2015-ish, but it's pretty cool, it's totally awesome. I am thinking about doing more movies, like a thematic sequel of the Lutefiskrise, which I showed you last year. This time about sausages. Of course.
You have to go to Germany.
Yeah, bratwurst. And of course, life used to have to be in the movie. Of course, I would also like to see some of my written works in a movie form. One of the questions a lot of people ask me is when, of course, because I live in Belgium, when will I see these books in English, German, Spanish, Polish, and so on? And I don't know. I mean, I wish them to be translated, of course, but there is no money in the budget to do that in small productions. So it does depend on people that does a lot of original work. But they exist actually, so it might happen. I hope so.
Tror du på den siste boken hans nå?
Det kommer til å bli en braksuksess.
Ja, det er ikke mest. Hvis det
er et mordmysterium fra en annen verden.
Ja, jeg tror det er mordgåto for å få en bra bok.
Har du med et mord i en bokserie?
Skulle du ha lansert den til påska?
Ja.
Som påskekrim?
Ja, men det blir en slager i påska.
Ja. Jeg skal ta en re-utgave. Ja, det blir... smurfefest der nå.
Nei. Tramper.
En smurf tramper på en annen smurf. Da blir det smurfetramp. Tror du fikk den beste kindereggene? Ja, men nå kommer smurfeline og så skreven.
Det er ikke så spennende hvis du skal ha samtidig hele tiden.
Jeg vet ikke hvorfor jeg gjør dette, men jeg kan jo ikke drive slik. Det er jo uforstående.
Sikkert vi kommer om et år siden, eller 2 år her på TV også.
Ja, helt sikkert. Hvis du gjør noe kult, så blir det ja.
Det gjør noe kult.
Men jeg tror du har litt mange kandidater her, så det er vilt, altså.
Ja, det er faen meg helt vilt.
Er det ikke fin?
Jeg skremmer den.
Nei, ikke skrem den. Staten skal passe på den for alltid.
Ja, men det er hyggelig å ta turen til flotte Lillehammer. Det er jo så mye snø og det er hyggelig her.
I want to wish you all welcome tonight. This year we're in the microbryggeriet. Very good Norwegian. Instead of Felix, and that's because we didn't know if Felix would be existing anymore. So that's why we booked this place. We're here. But of course here we have some really good beers. I hope everybody takes the chance to drink a lot of Idyll beer tonight. One night only. So another thing is when I was a young boy, around 13, 14, 15 years old, I was introduced to Agatha Christie, and people were saying that Agatha Christie was so nice because you had a murder mystery and then you had represented several people and you could guess who the murderer was. Right? But I only read 2 Agatha Christie's books because I didn't have that feeling when I read them, so I was really disappointed because at least in the 2 books I read, Agatha Christie introduced people all the way around that could be the murderer, but in the end of the book there was someone new introduced that was the murderer. You could never guess it was this person because it was never introduced. So in this book I've done both introducing the murderer in the beginning of the book, but I also introduced the murderer in the end of the book as a surprise. And I'm also giving you the chance to be the murderer or the hero in this book. Været tvang dem sakte, men sikkert nedover i en usynlig spiral mot undergangen. De visste at de skulle dø. Det fantes ingen vei utenom. Takk for det.